Okay, we're back, part 2 here. So, before we advance on to, and this is a very popular and useful chart, let's just look at what the cages are and the tri-pentatonic cages here. Okay, so we've got the first cage is the C cage. All right, so if you've got the capo on there, I mean, I've got a capo on here. This is your guitar where your hard fret nut is. Okay, so this is the low E. I was just messing. So that's E tuned, okay? And so that this cage here has actually 3 pentatonic scales in it. It has 3 modal scales in it. The first one is, it can be considered the C-shaped pentatonic, where you got R3-5, right? R3-5 in the key of C. And cage is in the key of C, so on your guitar this would be key of C. Alright, that's C, E, G. You can hit the 5 underneath it. You could do bugle calls off of this, right? So it's just like a bugle. C is a great chord, and it's a great mode to be in. All right, now when we go to the E shape. Why does it say E when that's the F? Because we're going to use the E shape, just sliding the E major shape up 1 to get that F. And certainly with the diatonic chord here, okay, we're hitting 4R4. We're not involved with this 7th quality or the flat of that 7th if you were going to do like a regular key of F. Shame on me for trying to do a suspended. I used to play only suspended 4th chords. But believe it or not, to stay in the mode, the only modal scale degrees you can play a suspended and stay in that mode are C and G. See, because if you try to do it in F, I mean, that sounds good, but to stay in the mode, it would have to be, the 4th would be like, well, it really doesn't have a 4th. It has an augmented 4th. So that is it. Something like that, you know. And now the other scale tones, we've got 1, 3, 5. If you suspend them, you'll take G into a diminished 5th. And with the A minor, you know, if you suspend the 4th of A minor, you know, same thing there. So really, C suspended 4th and G suspended 4th are the only 2 modal scale tones you can do a suspended 4th on. Okay, you can do one on the half diminish. And that's a very has a lot of feeling, that chord. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So it would sound like this. Would sound like this. You go. Okay, I'm getting a little confused there, trying to do too many notes at once, but that sounds like a really cool chord. You know, a lot of feeling in it. So you can do a fourth suspended. If you want to count strictly scale tone notes, right, as a fourth, so you know, the B half diminished major, you know, it has a suspended fourth. That's a suspended fifth. It's this. Okay, but we're not playing in B major. We're playing in C major. So the half diminished seventh would be. I like that chord. Let's move on. So just to mention that, you can't just suspend chords or even do dominant sevenths. Now on dominant sevenths, let's just mention that for a minute. You can do a G dominant seventh and stay in the C mode. Okay, you can do the minor dominant seventh. But you can't do the dominant seventh on the Lydian either, because that would take you into a different key. That would take you into the key of B flat, right? Because F is dominant in the key of B flat. So there you have it. Let's not try to explore even more, but maybe we can do a dominant half diminished dominant too. So there's can and can'ts do's with adjusting chords to stay in the modal. If you can find a chord in your modal scale or your scale key, you know, scale tone progression, that you can affect a change and stay in that mode, then I would suggest using that first before just breaking out of the modal. You know, the modal is. And then the impossible. Okay, that was just a tritone. What I did there was the 6, the 7, and the 4 for that, and probably the 2, because that was open for the half diminished. All right, so let's move along. So we have the C shape, root 3 5 to root. Okay, now remember, 5 to root is a perfect fourth, but since there's a tuning warp where that second to top string is only a third up from the open string, you know, kind of thing, we've got to go over 1. All right, now from the fourth to the 7th in Lydian, that is an augmented fourth. You know what I'm saying? So the perfect fourth is straight up. Here the perfect fourth is straight up, but from this 5 straight up from here is just a third, 5 to the 7th. 2 half steps is a perfect third. 2 whole steps. All right. So then we go to the G shape. So this is 1 4 5, 1 4 5 all the way across. So 1 is C, 4 is the F shape, but now we have to fit that E shape into this cage. The only E shape that we can fit in that cage is right on the 4th. And you'll get used to it being the 4th there. Then the 5th, we go back to the G shape using the square of the cage like this. Remember, we do use the whole cage with the 4th, but you can't do it. You can't do that from the fret nut. You can't do it from the open position. Well, yes you can, because it's F. Sorry, you can do it. So your C would be here, and then you go to the F, to that G. I can't do that G very well. And then to the C.